All right, welcome back to another amazing episode of Split the Vote. I am your host, Tim, joined by not Rob this week, but another amazing, incredible podcaster, the founder of the Silent Podcast himself, Zay. Zay, how you feeling?
Hey Tim, I'm good. Thank you so much for inviting me here. I'm more of a Big Brother guy. Been really caught up in like Deal or No Deal Island. So, I've been the definition of a super casual this season. But watching this episode, I'm locked in now. I'm very intrigued of what's going on, and I'm very excited to talk about this today.
Yeah, and let me correct myself, Isaiah, 8 Ball. We're so cool. I'm out here throwing around nicknames. Back at home, they call me Tay. So it's like Tay, Zay. It kind of came off the top of my mind. But I'm glad that you're getting back into Survivor this season. And I'm really excited to talk about your thoughts on this episode, especially somebody who's maybe not been as super impressed by the new era. So without further ado, I really think it's time to get into it. So the first
All right.
thing that's on my mind is I'm watching this episode, and of course, there's this big moment with Eva. But I think there's also another big moment that we see in the episode, and that's with Camilla, Kyle, Shaheen, and Joe. After the reward, they win the second reward. They go back to camp. They're eating their reward and they bond. They're talking about their lives outside of Survivor, their families' lives. And to me, that moment was so special because we hear so often, oh, Survivor's so woke now. Survivor's this, Survivor's that. And I'm like, is that bad? Has Survivor not always been about people from different places, different experiences coming together? So I say that to say about this moment, like, was that something that shocked you as somebody who's not been super tapped into the new era?
Um, it didn't shock me because it's something that I think the Survivor 40 specifically has really captivated on. They've seemed very focused on like upbringings, people's hardships, and at first, especially with like a condensed episode, I was kind of like, all right, where does this really fit? In the episode with such limited
Mhm.
time, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of against the hour long episode originally. But with more time passing by, it's quickly gone from let's fill this episode with as much filler as possible to let's fill this extra time with like getting to actually know the players. And I don't for a person like I said who has not been that tapped in, I really did enjoy hearing the story about like the Iranian backgrounds and homegirl's autism and everything. Like it was very touching. We literally got a Jeff Probst crying scene this episode. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So
Yeah.
I liked it though. I thought it was good, and I'm congratulations to Survivor production for making use of that time.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like it was definitely, I feel like, an episode of Survivor we've never seen before. Like never
Right,
been an episode like this before. And I think because it was so different that it's like you either love it or you hate it. And it's like
right,
little space to be in between. And I feel like I was one of the people who loved it. You mentioned it just then. The other big moment was Eva's triumph
yeah.
during the challenge, where Eva came through frustrated. What seemed like it felt like a manual pinball machine to me. Like I'm watching it, I'm thinking, one, that table looked heavy, and then two, how frustrating it could be. So seeing her be frustrated, get it in the end, and still have that moment where she's like overwhelmed. She's, experiencing all these emotions. Joe comes from the other tribe, and you kind of see before that frustration, that like need to go in and help, need to go in and step in. And then of course, like the moment happens and the music slows down, stops almost. And to me, I felt like it was powerful just to see her like overcome something, just to see the whole support from the whole game almost. And I loved it personally.
Yeah, the guy that helped her, his name is Joe, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool. Because so I did think the challenge was a little long-winded, I'm not gonna lie. But
Mhm.
seeing her struggle with the last portion of it, it was really heavy for me. And when she's just like obviously going through some kind of like panic attack after the fact, and to see Joe, who was on a completely different team, you know, support her. I just thought that was very nice. Eva seems like a really nice girl, very nice character. And I think Jeff made the perfect sentiment during this, which is like, hey, like even if you want to look at it on the gamebot side, like you kind of revealed that you guys have some sort of relationship, but it didn't matter in that situation, and I did think it was touching. Um, I know that, as you said, the survivors woke crowd will probably have complaints. I myself was kind of like I said, this is a little long winded, but I do think it was necessary to show this. Um,
Mhm.
I think CBS over the past few years, not even just on this, but Big Brother, Amazing Race, whatever, has made these efforts to cast like a Noel who has one leg, or a Matt Klotz who is semi-deaf. Just like bringing
Mhm.
people who usually don't get these opportunities to be on these shows. So I liked it. It opened up a door into another world that I'm not too familiar with. I'm more familiar with it now, and I think it was definitely needed.
Yeah, and then just to speak a little on the game side, I'm thinking like clearly, like Jeff said himself, these two people have a connection. Now, I don't know if it's going to put them in danger in the future, or if it's a case where, okay, these two people are close. I know they're locked in. They seem trustworthy. This was this big vulnerable moment. I want to work with them too. Or it's going to be a situation where it's like y'all two are clearly close. There's no breaking y'all up. One of y'all got to go home, and either you might have to go home because I might have a hard time beating you in the end. Like we think about past players like Adam Klein, who had this great story that he had to keep a secret until final tribal council. But then there's other players in the past who've shared stuff with their tribe. And then, you know, even in the case of Noel, where players were like, Noel can't get to the end. Noel can't make it to the end because we won't be able to beat her in the jury. And between those two sides, I feel like the second might be true later down the road for Eva and Joe. Would you agree?
I so Eva, no. It really depends on like the cast. Like obviously, as you said with like Noelle, like oh you can't let Noelle get in. I think that cast specifically was
Mhm,
like hyper focused on that. I don't even think Noelle would have really like focus too much on that in like a finale speech or anything. Just like I don't think Eva, especially revealing this here, would focus too much on like, hey, I have autism in like a finale speech. Like, does she mention it?
mhm,
Sure, but like I don't think this cast is like, from what I've seen at least, as so cliche to the point where it's like, we need to vote this girl because of what she has. Like, no. I think it's still going to come down to the game. I do think like Eva and Joe were hinting at, like if I need to vote this person out, I'm going to do it. Joe, on the other hand, I do think that this, unfortunately, is like the major like social game. Like this is such a good guy. Everyone's gonna want to work with Joe now after this, and that's dangerous. Like I'm thinking of like Caleb a couple seasons ago, who was just like
mhm,
just came off as such a genuine nice guy going into a merge, which we're about to go into, and everyone's like, hey, we need to get that guy out or he's gonna win. So I do think that Eva's going to be just fine, but Joe, I think, painted a big target. I don't think he's going to go anytime soon, but I think this cast is like, we cannot let this guy get to the end now. Like this, they're like,
mhm.
it's over if he gets there. So yeah, Joe is definitely in danger if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Eva gonna have to use that idol that she just got on him, which was another
Yes.
crazy thing to me. Like, okay, Star. I love Star, but Star. I need to. We need to have a talk after class because it's like you found the beware advantage. Great, amazing. Eva has this big moment during the challenge. Y'all get back to y'all's tribes, and y'all all are looking forward together. Eva's trying to figure it out. She figures it out, and you're like, here you go. You can have it. You can keep it. Absolutely not. I think personally, it's like, okay, there was this big moment. Everybody's super emotional, but that's an idol. Star, you were on the bottom of your original tribe. Like there's some folks who are saying, "Oh, it's gonna help her out." It might, but it's like that definitely was not at the front of her mind when she gave the idol to Eva. Me reacting to it again, I'm just bewildered, shocked, and not sure what to do at
So
all.
the game player in me is like, okay, everybody knows I have this. A merge has to be coming up soon. I'm going to dump this on someone else, and it gives me some sort of good faith. And hopefully, if we have a snitch in the camp, they rat on her and they don't rat on me. But as you just said, and I kind of felt this watching this, because like I said, super casual, but Star doesn't seem like she's in the in crowd over here, and you just confirmed that to me. Yeah, I don't think she should have did this. I don't think that this is really going to do anything for her. And I don't even think like Eva is either even going to like care that like she gave this to her. Like I don't see this as like an olive branch for like we need to work together. Like it would be different if it was like a one-on-one thing, but like you did it in front of everybody, so it's like who the hell cares at this point, you know?
Mhm.
Um, you win or lose, it really just depends on the player doing it, and I just don't think Storm is the player that I'm going to give a bunch of credit for doing something like this. Lastly, and I know
Mhm.
this is not about Survivor, but it's so funny. I see you have a Pokemon thing in your background. I do too, so I thought that
Yeah.
was very funny.
Wait, let me be nosy. I'm looking.
it's a it's
Oh
a it's
shoot.
a,
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
Lapras. It's a Lapras. It's a Lapras. But
That's what's up. That's
sorry,
what's up.
off topic, off
No,
topic.
no,
But yeah,
you're absolutely fine. Yeah, I feel like, even in speaking of Pokemon, thinking about Pokemon, it does seem like Eva caught an advantage when she wasn't expected to catch it because a idol is
I
super
like that. I
powerful.
like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You so I'll try. I had to learn from the best, over
Yeah.
there and bring it and share it with the people over here. You know,
Okay.
but as we continue, I know there's some other things that are super powerful in this game, and there's this seemingly new alliance of four that just formed over on Vula, which is the Green Tribe. So there's Camilla,
Okay.
Kyle, Joe, Shaheen, the same group of people that were just bonding. And last tribal council, they were just beefing. Like they were just voting for one another's allies. Kyle got votes, but now it's like, okay, we're gonna move forward. We're gonna be a solid block. We're gonna run this game, and I'm scared because that's a great group of players. Camilla, great strategist. Kyle, great strategist. Like Shaheen and Joe can pull in numbers with different people. Like Shaheen's a schemer. Joe, literally, we see is close to Eva. Eva has an idol. I feel like they might run the rest of the game to a certain degree unless they collapse in on themselves. But I'm just thinking about big alliances just in general through the game of Survivor and if they could actually get to the end is the question.
The way I was looking at it is a little differently. This gave me huge vibes of like the makeup of an alliance in Survivor 41, and it was
Mhm.
like Shan, Deshaun,
The
uh,
camp out.
uh, yeah, the camp out. Yeah, there you go, Liana and Danny, and I was just like, oh my god, like if they can make this work, like this could be a dominant alliance, and I feel like this team has that makeup too, where it's like, yo, like on paper, this should really work out. But as you said, with all the attributes that these people have and the promise each player has individually, it just leads something into my mind that it's like it's going to just take like that one person to either have too much power, or someone's going to go on a comp spree, or someone's going to
Mhm.
have an ally that they're trying to defend too much. Like there's just too much ego in Survivor for a powerhouse alliance of just straight dogs to just like really just steamroll, especially this early. Like you said, like they're just coming off of just being like savages to each other. So it's like they have to at least get through like 1 to 2 more votes and really build that chemistry and see like, all right, are people going to be sneaky? Are they going to be like hiding stuff from me? Are we all going to be like, are we really down for this? You know? So I
Mhm.
like the idea of it. Let's see if they actually can keep it together for a few rounds and hold their tongues and everything, you know? But like I said, on paper, it looks nice.
It does, it does. And earlier you pointed out the Pokeballs behind me, right? So it's surprise, it's actually a portable charger. You can't see it light up because the
I
lighting
like
is too
it. I like it.
too, but I said it to say like if I'm on the go, I can just plug my phone up, recharge it. In the same way that these players are recharging their games when they get this reward. But on this reward, it's two things that I think are important to talk about. Briefly, it's like the Milkmance is what I'm calling it, like David and his love and obsession with milk. And then the second
Okay.
is Charity getting whacked. I feel like in this season, Charity has not caught a break. And I feel like we haven't even seen why. It's like, what does she do to make them that mad? Because every opportunity that we hear about Charity, it's like, boom, we don't like Charity. Boom, we can't trust Charity. Boom, Charity gives me fake energy. I'm like, dang. It seems like I wouldn't be surprised if they're saying like Charity is walking around the island, spending everybody rice or something. I'm just not understanding the Charity hate that's going on, or like the vibes that we're getting from her.
The vibes I've always gotten from like the pretty girl who goes on Survivor is that they are all reaping the harsh reality that Parvati set for them years ago. And
Mm,
I remember like even Sydney years a couple seasons ago, she came on and she was trying to work with everyone. I was like, nah, like you gotta get her out, like such a threat, like I don't really want to work with her, she's fake. But like that is just like a continuation that's been going on the past couple of years. And I'm just like, she's unfortunately in that club. And, there's always opportunity when you get to merge. So it's not the end of the world. She made it to merge. But yeah, I don't know if up is really the direction to go from here. Like usually I'm saying if you're in rock bottom, the only direction you go is up. I don't really know for her. I don't really think that people are going to be looking out for her. They might try to use her for a vote or something. She needs to like either go on a comp spree and get some respect or find an idol and like force people to respect her. So we'll see
mhm.
how it goes for Charity, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't think it's looking too good. I don't think it's looking like how David was looking at the milk at this reward challenge. Isaiah, are you lactose intolerant?
I am, but I like eating cheese anyway. It doesn't matter.
Got you. I feel like for me, the one food I feel like I would die for over Survivor. If Jeff tells me, pulls me to the side, or announces to the whole like game, this reward, you getting chilies and you getting triple dippers. I promise you, I'm winning that challenge. I don't care. I will like I will turn to a drill digging through this sand. I will flip the table if I need to get this ball into this. Like, and I'm curious, just like on a personal level, like what's that one food you feel like you would need on Survivor or any show as a reward to like give it a
Oh my
million percent to get it?
if they can give me like soul food, like fried chicken, mac and cheese, greens, something like that, like it's over. Like no one can stop me. I'm gonna be like Hercules out there. You feel me? So it's like, like I need that. I need that pick me up, man. And I listen. I'm already struggling just to know what I'm going to eat for dinner tonight. So like just thinking about being out there, Survivor, I would do everything in my power to win that reward challenge. Like goodness gracious.
Yeah. I see you want that family reunion plate. So, but as we move forward, I do think it's time to talk about the tribal council itself, the losing tribe. Specifically, I think it's time in every episode we give out one award per person to a player, and so I do think it's time for the torture awards. So in this episode, we see the New Orange Tribe, go to tribal council. Ultimately, it is Bianca that's voted out, but I do think for me, there's one clear person who stole the show with their gameplay, in my opinion. And for me, that one person is Cedric. Cedric had the social connections with these new tribe mates to give him the power to go any route he wanted. He could have voted with Say, made it a tie. He could have voted and got Chrissy. Well, Chrissy would have been in that tie, but he could have voted Say out. he could have did what he did, which was vote out Bianca. At every turn, he had choices and options. And for me, that's why I like Cedric wins my Torture Award this episode. So I want to ask, if you could choose one player from this episode, it could be a favorite, it could be a player who you think played the best strategically that you could give an award to. Who would that person be?
I'm mad that you went first because I was going to say Cedric too. I think that
Yeah, go
Cedric
for it.
was awesome. Yeah, I think he was the only person who really knew what was going on tonight. He basically had all the power of who was going to go home, and even though I knew what direction it was going in, I was rewatching it downstairs. I was just like, wait, what? Like it. I was confused at first. Why he voted out Bianca. And there's pros and cons to it still. But I do think the pros outweigh the cons, maybe. Like,
Mhm,
okay. Cedric is relying now on his pre-existing relationship with Say. But unfortunately, I don't think he knows like Say isn't really rocking with him. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if this is the right move, but it's always good to go with, especially going into a merge, like go with the people you know versus just like the people you don't. Unfortunately, Bianca not only doesn't have a vote, she waited to the last second, as she pointed out, which I was like, oh, he might vote her out. But also it just feels like Bianca just had like no stock anywhere in the game from what I've seen, at least, so
mhm,
even though like it could be like, oh, this is the feel good moment, take out Say because she's annoying everybody, at the end of the day, until like you're expendable to her, like Say needs Cedric. So
mhm,
he I think he made the right move here. Now I kind of think that he should have told Say maybe beforehand, but seeing this episode, Say is going to just blurt whatever comes to her mind, so I think Cedric made a very astute move, and I think he's forced Say to have to work with him, which regardless if she likes him or not. So Say Torchy Award from me. Oh, sorry, Cedric Torchy Award from me. There you
Gotcha,
go.
gotcha. I
Sorry.
was like, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it, but
No,
yeah,
no, no,
to
no, no,
Cedric
no,
for sure.
Cedric, Cedric.
Yeah, I think you really captured it perfectly when you said Say wouldn't have a choice but to work with Cedric. It's only three of them from their original tribe. Chrissy doesn't like Say. Mitch, obviously, at this point, doesn't like Say. So Say doesn't have a whole lot of options. But one of those options is Cedric. And Cedric has her as an option and all these other people too. And when it came to Bianca, she did just lose her bestie. And she didn't really have people on her tribe that were even from her original tribe. So she was
Right.
already on a sinking ship that had four different holes in it at this point. Like not even the Titanic. We talking like one of them rickety boats with like made out of wood. So I don't think she would have stayed afloat much longer. She almost pulled it off, which I was really, really surprised by her strategy and her gameplay navigating it with no vote. But speaking of no votes, I really do think the new era and this no vote phenomenon, I gotta say it, it's I think we need to
It's
stop it.
trash.
I think we need to stop it.
It's trash, Tim. Just saying.
Yeah.
Listen,
I mean,
I
yeah.
was listen, I love Big Brother, like I said, but I was watching Survivor the same amount for years. Like I watched Survivor China, dropped off when I was like super young, and then I watched the season before Kagian, whichever one John Cochran won,
Mhm,
and I've been here since, right? And I want to say since season 40, one and up, I've been like having a slow decrease in interest because it feels like Mario Party almost. Like there's so many
mm,
like random factors of like, oh, usually if you find something back in the day, like it's a benefit, even to the point where they start wrapping stuff in like colored yarn. Like now it's like, oh, do I really want to find stuff because I might lose my vote if I can't find someone on another tribe to say a riddle. Like I there's so much like bull crap in New Age Survivor now that I'm just very confused about, and I just don't know. What's the saying? If it's not broke, don't fix it. It just felt like
yeah.
they're just doing stuff, and
Mm,
I like the jump of faith with like, the tokens, the fire tokens. I don't know why they cut that out so quickly, but like I don't think this was the right pivot, and I don't understand why they keep taking people's votes. I've watched so many players just get eliminated just because they can't vote. It's ridiculous, even if they're doing everything correct. Or like, oh, we need to rely on a shot in the dark. Like I just don't
Yeah.
get Jeff's brain when he comes up with some of this stuff, and I hope he fixes that because if I'm telling you, if someone that everyone likes goes home because they can't vote in Survivor 50, there's going to be such an uproar. Like, just
Watch
stop it. Stop.
Watch it be Sari. Watch Sari get if
Sorry.
Sari's on this
Oh
season, watch
my God.
Sari get
Like,
advantage getting, but in like the reverse. It's not that she didn't have an advantage, it's that she did have an advantage and she lost her vote. That would be
exactly. It would be horrible.
frustrating. I'm a Let me knock on
Horrible.
wood and take that idea back before it happens. But you threw shade at shot in the dark. I kind of like shot in the dark, no lie. But I do think when we make players lose their vote, when they don't have a choice to play the game to lose their vote or not, it takes away player choice. And we always hear Survivor is about player choice. There was no choice for Bianca. Well, Bianca maybe had a choice, but there was no choice in if she could play that
Right.
game and risk her vote or not. So it is getting, I agree with you on that point, like out of hand and the impact. And I do feel like it's clear. We see who voted for, minimal strategic power in the last round of Survivor voting. I voted in the middle, but it is clear that these advantages and losing your vote is impacting Survivor on a whole different level.
It's not
Well,
even an advantage. It's a disadvantage. Like
yeah.
we're punishing players for playing the game. Like, what do you want people to just sit at camp all day? Like, no, we want people to go out in the jungle and find stuff. But and, I don't care for the guy, but that's what made like Russell Hand so fun to watch. Like this guy will literally go dig stuff up. Like I don't get this what made people like Ben special or Sarah Lucina. Like,
Hmm.
why are we punishing people for playing the game? It doesn't make any sense. I really hope that they fix this before this returning season. Like I just see it in my mind that like it's going to ruin something, and you're punishing players for playing the game, and that's why we're seeing all these people just float to the end instead of trying stuff because you're hurting people. Stop doing it. Sorry, I know I'm doing too much. Go
No,
ahead,
you're good. You're not doing too much. Like I love the energy. Keep bringing it because I feel like at this
Tim.
point, like we need to make sure that the advantages that we've seen that are a little bit too out of hand don't get a call back for Survivor 50. We need to get them off of the leaked advantage list for Survivor 50 season. So as we do get ready to wrap up the episode, I do want to have a moment just to talk about the eliminated players game, and that's Bianca. From this episode I mentioned earlier, I really do think Bianca almost got away with it because had she not chosen to embrace trust with Cedric, I feel like she would have survived that tribal council because I do think yes, there would have been a tie, but she would have been safe as a result of that tie, as she said it herself. And for her to go home right after Thomas, which was her bestie in the game, I was heartbroken. I will say it was a little funny when they was talking and explaining the vote as she was getting up. I was like, y'all, can we wait 5 minutes for her to, grab her torch and go? But I did really appreciate Bianca's social strategy that she played during the season and the fact that the plan almost worked in this episode, but she couldn't predict that Cedric already had a crazy tribal council where one of his tribe mates already lost his vote again.
Yeah, I think she put way too much fear in the fact that she would come off as like a liar afterwards.
Mm,
But I mean, what can you do at this point? I just think that she should have kept her mouth shut and then just let whatever happens happens. And then like the point of Survivor is you can't fear the now. It's like you need to move 10 steps ahead and adjust, And I think a
mhm,
lot of players lack that skill to just like, all right, this is gonna suck, but like it's not the end of the world. So even if
mhm.
I might get eliminated next round because of that, I'm gonna still be here next round instead of being eliminated now. So unfortunate for her. She seemed like she was a nice person, possibly had some promise, but the Survivor gods decided to take her vote away. So here we are.
Yeah. Honestly, at that point, they struck her with lightning with losing your vote at a tribal council. But Isaiah, I really do appreciate you coming on this episode. For the folks who are listening, if you could tell them where can they find you, tell them what's happening with Isaiah.
Thank you so much for bringing me on here. This was so fun. You can find me at 8 Ball Bangers everywhere on Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you're at. You can find me at 8 Ball Bangers, and you can find me podcasting as well on Silent Podcast. We just got wrapped up covering Deal or No Deal Island. I'm doing my final podcast for that actually tonight, and we actually did an extra interview with the runner-up for that show. So make sure you tap in for that, and then I'm going to just be doing fun stuff up until Big Brother starts because this is my off season now. So if you ever need more people to talk to or a substitute, just hit me up. I got you.
Of course, always, bro. Like, and for folks who are listening, Isaiah was one of the folks who I started my podcasting journey with. So it's always love here. And if y'all could, of course, if you want to check out the amazing content over at Silent Podcast as well. If you enjoyed this podcast or you enjoyed Purple Pants podcast, for sure, you're in for a treat. Well, this is Tim. You can find me again at Timstagram B. You can also follow the Split the Vote podcast over on Instagram at the links in the bio. But this has been a Purple Pants podcast powered production. I got it right this time in one go. I'm Tim. Shout out to Isaiah. And this has been Split the Vote. Peace.